So hey, the Battlefield community, I was thinking doing a funny intro for this episode, like, oh yeah, I went on a holiday, I went to Japan, I went to some islands, I booked a hotel called Hainan Resort or something like that, and I'm like, I can't be asked. It's not funny enough, it's too cringy, and I'm like, you know what, let's just go to the point. Welcome to Battlefield 1 Podcast, we'll talk about Battlefield, only Battlefield, my name is Tom, also known as TheLankySoldier. And yeah, like I said, we talk about Battlefield. We're gonna talk about Season 4 impressions. Tour Reef came out, new weapons came out, like Asphalt, people's favorite gun, Asphalt. Is it good, any bad? Or, we'll talk about that. So yeah, we're gonna talk about the impressions. I have no idea how long this episode is gonna be, but I think it's gonna be a really quick one today. But yeah, just gonna bring impressions about Season 4 and how we feel. Is it good? Is it any bad? How the community feels about it, all that kind of stuff. So yeah. So grab a drink, grab a snack, whatever you're doing usually every week. Let's talk about Battlefield.
But then when you've got Angel screaming, Angel does it again.
That was something, right?
That was something.
I'm sorry, you canceled the support for the game a month ago.
Why would they even host a trade?
I don't know.
And I sit down and he picks up one donut and eats it. So you want to QA games?
When the rubber meets the road, they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, I don't like seeing Mario get his skull smashed."
Oh, I would love
It
to see
doesn't
that.
work.
I would love to
Yeah,
see.
again.
So, of course, as usual, thank you guys so much for joining us for another episode of Battlefield 1 Podcast. Without you guys, this show would not exist. Literally, thank you guys so much for tuning every week to listen to us jibba jabba about Battlefield. Will it be by myself or will be with my co-host who recently had a child. He's not available today because life. But yeah, thank you guys for everything. Thank you guys for all the support. Thank you guys for listening to us every week. All that kind of stuff. Thank you guys for all the support, all that kind of stuff. Thank you so much. And thank you our Patreon supporters. Without you, this show would not exist. Literally would not exist. $2 or $5 for Patreon, you get extra content, extra episodes, early access, live streams, all that kind of stuff. Thank you guys so much. Without you, this show would not exist. Literally. Thank you guys so much for everything. So that's patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. That's patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. And check us out, use a free trial, whatever the case may be, right? Support us, $2 or $5. It helps us a lot. It helps us with the future of the show, all that kind of stuff, because, hey, stuff happening in the background, and we have to plan everything, like how we want to approach the show in the future. Your feedback is important, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, guys, thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for interacting with us. Join our Discord, all that kind of stuff. Interact with us. Don't be a stranger. Because your feedback matters. Your conversation, everything you want to say to us, it matters to us. Whether it be positive or negative, talk to us. So yeah, and of course, join our Patreon because, hey, it helps. It helps a lot. You have no idea how much your support helps us for the show. So yeah, thank you guys so much. That's patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. And before we continue with our impressions for Season 4, I have to remind you, last chance, guys, last chance. If you want to ask us any questions, will it be for me, for Ray, for Andre, for anyone else on that was on the show, just ask a question. And the way you can do that is by clicking on the link in the description of this episode. So the first link you see, it's the Google Forms document for a Q&A session. So in August, we're going to do a Q&A episode. We're going to be answering your questions. And those questions can be personal, about the podcast, about the show, about the game, the Battlefield franchise, or something else outside the Battlefield franchise. Whatever, questions you have for us, ask away. Literally ask away. And we're going to answer those questions on the next upcoming show in August. And the reason for that is because I'm going to be gone, so I might as well do a Q&A session because we haven't done the Q&A session for a really, really, really long time. And yeah, the last Q&A we did, we got like over 100 something questions. And right now we got not that much, but hey, you have until I'll give you a bit, 1st of August, but try to ask your questions until then. The form is still going to be up, so you're still going to have a couple of days before I'm going to start recording that episode. But yeah, if you have any questions for me, for Ray, for anyone else, ask away. and put your question in that document. It's that easy. I don't need your email. I don't need your information. I don't need anything from you. Just click on the link, start typing the question, and you can be anonymous. You can tell what's your name. It's fine. Just ask us away what's on your mind, and we'll answer that question on the upcoming show. So yeah, we have a Q&A session happening, Q&A episode, so ask away. That's it. So just a reminder for you all. Last chance to ask some questions, for us, Ask any questions for us. That's wherever those questions are, right? All right, that's okay. Just last minute announcement, right? Yeah, last minute announcement. So that's that. Okay, so all right, let's talk about Season 4. It's called Pacific Front. So, Battlefield 6 Season 4. The first stage of this Season 4 called Pacific Front. And we got a new map called Surif. We got new weapons, 3 new weapons. We got an attack boat. We got a reboot, even though reboot was already in the game in RedSec, but not the point. When it comes to multiplayer, we got a reboot, we got an attack boat, we got a new map, and we got 3 new weapons. And we got a new battle pass. And that's kinda it. that's kinda it. So that's why I wasn't sure if this particular episode is gonna be a long one, because there's not much. There's not much in this particular season. At least that's the first stage of this season. The meat and potatoes of this season is gonna be the stage 2, which it has the Top Gun collaboration, and it's gonna have Carrier Assault, and it's gonna have another map. So we're gonna have 2 naval maps in stage 2, and in all there's something else that's coming in that that stage. I don't remember what was it, but not the part. Today we're gonna talk about the actual first stage, which is Pacific Front. Like I said, new map, 3 new weapons, new battle pass, all that kind of stuff. I mean, sure, battle pass is, to some people it's not content, but hey, it's still, I guess, let's mention something about it, because like I said, the start of the season is very tame and like not much, but from what I've seen so far, just like the community temperature and how they feel about this update, is that community really loves this update. They just do. The Battlefield community, what I've seen from people that don't play Battlefield that much, and people that play Battlefield a lot, and majority of the opinions about this update, about this new season 4, about this new season, is that people really love it. The general consensus for this update is very positive. Like people, like doesn't matter what kind of negative stuff you might have about this, update, whatever that may be. People really, really love this update. People really enjoy it. I've seen YouTube videos, I've seen podcasts and the shows and everything, and conversations. Like people like, oh, is Battlefield doing that now? And loads of people coming back to Battlefield, and apparently Battlefield has a really big bump in player base on Steam alone. Probably someone said the highest playoff numbers for 5-6 months in the last 5-6 months. So yeah, this update is doing really, really well for them, and that's great. So as a Battlefield podcast host, hosting a bloody Battlefield related podcast on this bloody planet, it's good for me, because that means, hey, bigger audience, more people gonna be caring about Battlefield, and that's good for me. That's fantastic. So the community loved this update. And do I love this update? Here's the thing. I like that what it is, but like I said, it feels very tame and very nothing burger in a sense. Sure, we got a new map, we got new weapons, we got new battle pass, all that kind of stuff. That's great. But what else is there, right? There's nothing. I'm glad that this update came out and did not break anything important. It didn't break anything. It did not make things worse. So that's a good thing. I'll take the small victories, once in a while. I'm happy that the update comes out. It added stuff, and it did not break anything important that it just will be unbelievably annoying. So that's great. It did not break. So that's why I don't feel that enthusiastic about this update. It's like, yeah, great, we got a new map, we got new weapons and everything, but there's nothing else, right? But at the same time, they did not break anything. Everything is working as supposed to, in a sense. And there was some nice quality of life stuff added there. Once I did notice, that, like for example, in the RedSec, we finally can see, what's it called? Our banner cards. Like when you load into the game, and you can see your player card, and you can see your squadron's player cards, and all that kind of stuff. Finally, that's what I've been saying to them. Like stuff like that, small stuff like. We have so much customization happening in this game, and we just can't showcase that customization, like, which is kind of weird. And now when you play RedSec, for example, you can see your player card and your squad mate's player card in the game before the game. You go in, jump into the Battle Royale map, all that kind of stuff, right? We can see that kind of stuff, right? Ooh, sorry. And I've been saying that for the last year. Like, we have all this customization, but we can't showcase it, right? So they improved that kind of stuff, right? Of course, not everything is got perfectly improved in this update, but it's just small quality stuff there and there, and that's great. And like I said, nothing broke, nothing just unbelievably oh no, I can't believe they did that. It's just a fine update, and I'm glad that people enjoy it. And that's great. That's the thing. Like I said, it's great that people enjoy it, and that's fine. But for me, it's just it just feels a bit safe. Nothing much happening. I guess they knew that just adding a naval map alone is gonna generate some good hype. And if the map is good, well designed and all that kind of stuff, it's gonna bring some attention to it, and they don't need to, blow their load all at once. So I cannot get that. I kind of get where they're coming from, but at the same time, I just kind of wish that something will be pushed from the stage 2 to stage 1 in a sense. But you know what? Nothing is perfect. Nothing. You can't. Let's just be happy with what we got, whether our standards are low or not. That's not the point. I'm just happy nothing broke, and we got a good map. And honestly, how I feel about the map. Tsuru Reef. So that's the map that came out with this update, and like I said, the community loves this map so far. Like the Battlefield community loves this map. How I feel about the map? I think the map is great. I think the map is beautiful. I think it's well designed too. I think ignoring the size of it, the size of this map, all that kind of stuff, and some people say it is the perfect size. Some people say oh, it feels like a Battlefield 2 map. Yeah, I would say yeah. As a guy that played Battlefield 2, I think it gives me those Battlefield 2 vibes. And how do I feel about it? I think the map is really great. I think it has, nicely designed areas. I think it looks beautiful, all that kind of stuff. I think it's one of the most beautiful maps on because it's just palm trees and summer there's water everywhere and all that kind of stuff. I think the map is really great. On Conquest, it's okay, just okay. Escalation, I think, is the best mode to play on this map. I think Escalation is fantastic on this map because it just makes more sense. It's just hey, you use the whole map and then kind of shrinks down to this area, and it's kind of more interesting. So I think Escalation works really, really well on this map. Breakthrough, okay, Breakthrough alone as a game mode is brain dead as hell. And I will always say this, that Breakthrough should never exist in the first place. But how's Breakthrough on this map? Absolute garbage. It's garbage on this map. Me and a couple of guys, we played on this map. And holy crap, Breakthrough is so horrible on this map. And it's mostly because the way they designed the outbounds areas and how, the layout of this mode on this map, it just doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't make sense to me. So I don't know what they were thinking with that. So that's unfortunate. So yeah, Breakthrough is just garbage. King the Hill and Domination, it's fine. Because we play in this little village area type of thing. It's on a harbor. I guess it's a harbor area, and that's where you play all those two modes. My biggest complaint from all that, so we have the hotel, the Hainan Resort Hotel from Battlefield 4 on this map. It's not the same building, don't get me wrong. It's the same layout, it's not the same building for obvious reasons. It's redesigned a little bit. It's like it has the same idea and the format and all that kind of stuff, right? You can tell it's like, oh, this is the same thing, but it's not. There's some big differences there that separate the original Hainan Resort Hotel from this, but that's kind of the same technically. It's kind of just like, yes, it's me, the new me, but it's still the same me, or that kind of stuff. And I'm kind of surprised that we don't have a domination or any small mode on that hotel. That's what surprises me. Like, that was like an easy win for them, and they haven't added a new, they're not using the hotel this much on this map, and I'm like, why? And that's like the biggest problem I've been getting from this map. No matter which mode I'm playing, the hotel is in the middle of the map technically, but it's barely used for anything. Like, it's not really a big objective in escalation from what I remember. I could be wrong though, because I haven't chilled that much, but that tells you how much I've been, pushed to the hotel. The hotel is barely being used by anyone. Sure, people fight there for obvious reasons, because it's such an iconic building to a lot of people. But for the people that have no idea, just want to play the game, the hotel is barely being used for anything. And just the fact that they don't have a TDM or domination or King of the Hill mode on in the hotel area, that is such a waste of resources, Like, that was such an easy win for them, and they not using the hotel to full extent. And I'm like, why? Like, listen, you can have King of the Hill in the harbor area, but let's say you can have domination and TDM in the hotel area, and no, we're still using the same harbor area for the same thing. I'm like, but why? It's just like, I'm so disappointed the hotel is not being used for anything like more important, because it's the hotel. It's that hotel that people loved it for a reason. Do you know how many how many hours people spent playing TDM on Hainan Resort in Battlefield 4? It's like one of the most popular maps out there. So that's the fact that it's not being used for any of the smaller modes. I'm like, it's criminal. So I don't understand what they were thinking with that. So they better fix that for the next update. So that's that. But yeah, but Suru Reef is a good map. It's just not my type of map. That's all it is. It's not bad, it's not good, it's just not my type of map. This type of map I will not play solo. So if I play solo, like when no one's available, like all my friends are not available, and I have to play something by myself until they're online or whatever the case may be, right? And I'll play some Conquest or Escalation, whatever. I'm not putting this map in my custom search. There's that because this map is not fun if you play solo, in my opinion. Like, for me personally, I'm not having fun if I'm playing this solo. If I'm playing this solo, I just don't care, because this map is more fun with friends, because like with friends, like, oh yeah, let's capture this objective together. Oh, there's a guy here, let's kill him, all that kind of stuff. Oh, there's a fight. All right, we captured the objective. Okay, what's next? Let's grab a reboot or whatever the case may be, right? And just move to the next objective and fight. It's more fun with friends than by yourself. If you're playing this by yourself, I will be bored as hell. And that's what happened. I played by myself a couple of times, waiting for my friends to come over, come online, and I was not having that much fun, because I'm like, it's just like, it's big for a reason. And it's not like I'm ADHD brain or something like that. Like, oh, I need constant action all the time. No, it's always been like that for me. It's like Naval 4 maps, Naval Strike DLC from Battlefield 4 was the same for me. It's like I don't like to play those maps solo, just because it's just big and very, I don't know, not the word tactical. I don't know how to use it. It's one of those things that you want to play this with friends, because it's more fun with friends, because like, oh, you can coordinate, you can have more fun and play together, capture objectives together, like, oh yeah, I died, that's fine, I don't have to respawn somewhere in my base, I can spawn my friend, still contest with the flag, all that kind of stuff, that kind of stuff, right? Because it's just, Battlefield is best played with friends, obviously, but of course you can say that about every game these days, but Yeah, Battlefield is like it's a squad type of game, you know, like whether people like it or not. It's all about the squad, you know. It's about playing with your friends and stay together, all that kind of stuff. And big maps like that are why it shines best when you play with friends. When you play in solo, I just like bored. I'll go to other maps that bring me a bit more joy. So that's that. Like I'm glad the community loves it, and I love this map. That's what I'm saying. I'm being a little bit negative, but because I'm telling you my opinion about how I feel about this update. I love this map. Don't get me wrong. I love this map. This map is freaking beautiful, and I don't even not mind the size that much. But overall, in the long term, I don't want to play the solo because it's just a really big map, and especially in Conquest, I'm like, it's just like also the way the hotel is not being used that much and all that kind of stuff. Like, I just don't want to, I have bad things to do, and it's kind of unfortunate to say this, but yeah, but I'm glad this map exists now because, hey, Battlefield is a sandbox type of game. And because we finally have a good naval map in the game right now, in Battlefield 6, at least one of them, we have this naval map. That's great. That means we have more choice, more variety in the game. So I'm glad Battlefield 6 has this map. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not shitting on the map. It's just not my type of map. But I'm glad it exists. And clearly, I'm glad they exist because people love this map. And that's great. Fantastic. There's lots of positive feedback about this update. Lots of positive, videos and conversations happening about Battlefield 6 right now. And that's great. So we're getting locked in for the next upcoming update that's happening in August, 18 or some shit. Whenever, middle of August, right? And that's good. So we're getting positive feedback, all that kind of stuff, and people love this map. It's not for me, but I'm glad there's something for everyone to experience. And that's why I think Battlefield shines best when it offers that variety for any player out there. I know people saying like, oh yeah, Battlefield should focus on this and this and this, but sometimes Battlefield doesn't need to focus on, on one specific thing. I think it just needs to focus on multiple things that just, create little pockets of entertainment there and there, You have this naval big map over here, and then you have your close quarters tunnel meat grinder type of map here, and you have something in the middle of there, and all that kind of stuff, right? And that's why Battlefield shines. Every Battlefield game shines best when it has the variety to offer pretty much everything for any player. That's, I think, what Battlefield shines best. Any Battlefield game. So I'm glad this map exists. It's fine, but like I said, it's just, for example, I'm kind of surprised that hotel is not being used, so I just don't know. So yeah, that's my impressions of Tsuru Reef, the map itself. Regarding other stuff, let's talk about boats and waves. Like, for example, I'll quickly mention that because it's important because it's part of the map. That's what makes this map, unique and interesting from everything else. So, boats and waves. So, regarding the boats, I'm really surprised and disappointed in a bad way. And someone said, I think someone perfectly describes like the Battlefield developers don't really they don't really play their own game or something like that. Because you know what, whether that's true or not, that's what I've been saying for the RedSec. Actually, I don't think they play RedSec that much, so they don't really know what kind of changes they need to do. But anyway, I don't understand why this boat is not a 4-seater. The attack boat. The attack boat they added for this map, for any naval map, or whatever the case may be, right? The attack boat, it's only a 2-seater. I don't understand why. Why? In what universe this is supposed to be a 2-seater? I understand they try to do this like a tank type of thing, right? It's a tank but on water, right? Maybe, sure, I get that. But even tank has 4 seats, technically. You can't go inside, but it does have 4 seats. So is it... no, it can't be a game limitation because certain vehicles do have 4 or 6 seats. So what's the problem here? Why did they decide to go with 2-seat? And it's really stupid. 4-seater should be thing because why it was fun in Battlefield 4 with the attack boats is because you can have a full squad in that boat. You can have, the guy that drives the boat. You have a guy that can repair the boat. Then you can have a guy that can use AAs or whatever the case may be, right? To defend against jets and all that kind of, So there was like a nice tactical team play behind the boat back in Battlefield 4, and it's a two-seater. Here's a two-seater. You can only spawn yourself as a driver, and then anyone can spawn in the boat. So it doesn't have to be like a squad mate. It can be any rando from the team, any blueberry. And I'm like, that's kind of pointless. This kind of stupid. So I'm really disappointed about that. It's like, why? That's the biggest disappointment for me when it comes to like, why is it a two-seater? That's so stupid. It's just nonsense. Why is it two? Like, it has to be a four-seater as minimum. You know, maybe a different mentality and different idea, you know, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, when it comes to controls, yeah, controls. The boat doesn't feel good. I'm sorry. Like, it's really cool and awesome to go with the boat through the waves. You know, you jump around. You know, up and down with the waves and all that kind of stuff. That's really cool. And if just the fact that you can experience that feels really cool and interesting and fun. And having fights sometimes with the boats, you know, boat versus boat, all that kind of stuff, is very fun. And when you're just hunting infantry on land and you're just in a boat, and while like the wave is going and everything, that's very cool. That's really cool. But the controls are just very stiff. I understand they try to go for realism, right? That's how a boat would feel in a big wave, all that kind of stuff. But then it raises a different question. It's like, why the waves are so aggressive in a middle of bright sunny day, you know? I understand it's supposed to be, you know, islands and everything, and it's middle of the ocean, all that kind of stuff. I get that. And the water is supposed to be, I mean, a bit more calmer when you're next to land. That's great. But I love the waves and all that kind of stuff, but that basically begs me the question, why can't we have dynamic weather like in this game? Realistically, honestly, I don't mind the waves the way they are, ignoring the controls that are really sluggish and really bad. Actually, well, let me come back to that. So yeah, so the controls for the boats are very sluggish and buggy. Actually, I try to turn left, my thing is turning right for some reason. Or I try to turn left, it's turning right. And it happens quite a lot. And this is the bug that was present back in Battlefield 5, and they never fixed it. So when vehicles sometimes like, oh, you're going backwards or forward or whatever, and you want to turn to a specific, you know, you want to turn left or right, you know, with your vehicle, but for some reason the controls get fucked up and they either don't react to your input or they go to a completely different direction. And that's been a bug since Battlefield 5. We never had this back in Battlefield 4. We never had this back in Battlefield 3. We never had this bug in Battlefield 1. It all started with Battlefield 5. In Battlefield 5, we have this dumb bug. And it's basically a legacy bug at this point because we have the same fucking bug. Sometimes it happens like that you try to turn left and right, whatever, but you can't. Either the controls are not responsive or they're completely going to a different direction. So I press left, it goes right. I press right, it goes left, or whatever they can be, right? So it goes to a completely different direction. And the way to negate this bug is just basically stop doing whatever you're doing. Like, just release all, release your fingers from the controls and just basically reset. Like, oh, release the controls, stop pressing anything, and just press again. Like one by like release it and just go left and right, just with one individual, keystroke or whatever the case may be, or controller, and then it's fine. That's how you reset or fix the bug. But this has been a bug since Battlefield 5. And I'm kind of disappointed I think this bug was a thing in the beta, with the vehicles, with the tanks. But I haven't experienced that for a while. So I think they fixed that for the land vehicles. But this bug is back on the freaking boats. And that's very unfortunate. So yeah, the boats feel really sluggish. I don't like how they feel. I think they feel really horrible. And the waves are not helping. Listen, I'm glad the waves are there. It's really cool and all that kind of stuff. But I read an article from a review about this update from Eurogamer, I think. I don't remember who's the author, but he basically said, like, this is really cool, but this novelty is gonna wear off very fast. And I wasn't sure if he was right. And after playing a little bit myself, I'm like, oh, he was absolutely right. So whoever was the writer on Eurogamer doing the review or press review for this update, yeah, the novelty wore off very, very fast for me with these boats and the waves and all that kind of stuff, right? The waves are cool, but I'm just like, I kind of wish we had dynamic weather at this point. So let's say the map is like sunny and everything, and then suddenly it's storm and, you know, like Parasol Storm from Battlefield 4, but something more aggressive, something more serious, right? So like it's a sunny day, and suddenly, slowly it's getting gray, and then it's like a storm, and then you have these waves because it's a storm, and then suddenly it makes sense why there's big waves. Suddenly the game is a bit more interesting because like, oh yeah, it's the weather element that you have to deal with now, right? But now, right now, the waves are basically part of the map, whether you like it or not, and I don't think I like that. Actually, I know I don't like that. Because it just kind of defeats the purpose of, you know, why the waves are like that all the time. That's why I'm really annoyed. Like, dynamic weather will be so cool to have on this kind of map. Like, it's a sunny day and then suddenly it's raining and it's a big storm, and now you have to deal with the waves. And speaking of waves, those things it's probably the performance on Suru Reef is not the best. When I'm saying performance, as in like you lose frames. I lost so many frames, you know, on this map. And I have a really good PC, and I do feel the difference. Like, oh, the frames are lower, the game is sometimes struggling, and I think it's because of people speculate it's because of the waves that require loads of computing power, loads of, you know, CPU performance needed for this, because, you know, mathematically, you know, calculating all this, how the objects, you know, react to it, how your character reacts, how your boats react, all that kind of stuff. So there's loads of calculation happening, so I understand that. So maybe that's why the performance is really not that good, but that basically raises another thing. Why can't we have a dynamic weather to make sense for these waves to be a thing, right? But anyways, that's a different story for another time. But yeah, I kind of wish we had dynamic weather, so because the waves would make sense. It's really cool to ride those waves and all that kind of stuff, ignoring the very sluggish controls on the boats. But it's really cool. But it just doesn't feel complete, you know, without the dynamic weather, and the controls really need to be improved because the controls are really, really bad. I understand maybe they were going for the realism, how the boat would react in a wave like that. I get that. We're going for the realistic feel, how the boat would feel in this situation. But at the same time, I'm playing a video game, you know. I'm not really playing a simulator, you know, how the boats should feel in this kind of situation. And to this day, Battlefield 4 is still a superior game when it comes to vehicle gameplay. It just is. Helicopters felt amazing in Battlefield 4. Jets, sure, they needed some work. They were trying to change. They maybe need more work, but yeah. Ground vehicles, fantastic. Like, or even boats, like attack boats in Battlefield 4, fantastic. Everything felt, when it comes to vehicles in Battlefield 4, felt amazing. To this day, is still the golden standard. Like, it's not nostalgia. I played Battlefield 4 a year ago. I know, yes, the infantry controls may be a little bit outdated, all this stuff. The game feels outdated. But when it comes to vehicle controls in Battlefield 4, God, it's so good. It's just the golden standard. And when you play Battlefield 6, that's supposed to replicate, or at least give the idea, the same feeling that you had in Battlefield 4 with the attack boats, you don't get that feeling because the controls are not there. It's just not. It's like Battlefield 4 boats just felt amazing. And they don't feel amazing in Battlefield 6, unfortunately. So that's that. That's my biggest criticism regarding this. Before we're gonna move to the next topic, like weapons or whatever, I don't understand why the jet skis are still not on this map, because what this map suffers from, what I've seen mostly playing with all the modes so far, lack of transport. You would imagine there would be enough transport to go around the map and all that kind of stuff. You know, there's enough rip boats, there's enough jet skis, all that kind of stuff. Jet skis are not in the game. They are in the game. I think it was Temporal Battlefield, famous Battlefield leaker. I think he went to the files and just enabled jet skis, or maybe he went on Portal. I don't know, whatever the case may be, right? you can use jet skis on the map, but for some reason the jet skis are not available in the official playlist. So when you play Tsuru Reef right now in the official playlist, or you just matchmake into that map and you expect to see jet skis, they're not. I don't understand. And jet skis are for what I remember, they are available in RedSec, as far as I know, as far as I remember. Yeah, they are available in RedSec, but they're not available in the multiplayer. Like, I don't understand why. It was a trip. It's not even drip feed. Like, here's the thing. It's not even drip feed. It's not one of those things that you can drip feed and make sense to drip feed, because it's just a jet ski. It's not something like revolutionary. Like, oh yeah, it's not a carrier support like carrier assault or whatever, right? It's not a new mode that you can drip feed. It's just a transport vehicle for us to traverse around the map, and it's not available right now. So like, I don't understand. I don't understand. Yeah, and also someone that I did read the comment, like someone that was in the playtest for Battlefield Labs, and he did say that he's very sure that developers knew, and the players mentioned many times that the jets. Wait, actually. Oh, okay, not okay. So apparently, well, the jet skis are not available, and there's already video of people using jet skis on this map. But apparently, according to Battlefield Labs, someone said that jet skis were not really. Players were mentioned that jet skis were not usable that much. They felt really bad with those dynamic waves. So that's what he says. Maybe that's why jet skis are not available on this map. That's what I heard Battlefield Labs playtest said. So I have a screenshot of some guy telling me stuff. Maybe that's the case, but then again, it goes to every boat in the game, right? Like I said, I kind of wish there was dynamic weather, all that kind of stuff, and the controls on the attack boats just feels really bad anyway. So you're not losing anything by adding jet skis. Just saying. But yeah, so right, let's talk about the maps right now. Not the maps, the guns, because just like I already did, I think I mentioned everything I wanted about Tsuru Reef and how it feels and everything. It's a good map, beautiful map, the best map, but it's not for me. That's all it is. It's just not for me. It's not my type of map. It's not my type of gameplay content, all that kind of stuff, and it's nothing. It's a me problem. People love this map. People really enjoying the map, and they say like, "Oh yeah, more breathing time and all that kind of stuff," and that's great. Battlefield is a sandbox, and I'm glad this game has a map like this right now, because the best Battlefield games out there have variety, and when there's variety, I think it's a beautiful Battlefield game. That's all it is. So I'm glad they exist. I'm glad this was added, and am I excited for Wake Island coming in a month? Yeah, I'm excited for that. But at the moment, it's just like, it's whatever. It's like, I'm glad it's there, but it's not for me. That's all it is. But I'm glad people are enjoying it. That's important. So that's important. So anyway, let's talk about the weapons quickly. So new weapons came out: assault rifle, a carbine, and a DMR. And I played with all of these weapons. I managed to level up the carbine to almost level 50. I think it's level 45. And I used the assault rifle, which is known as the AUG, real name AUG, AUG, but it's called EF88. And the carbine is called Broad. And Asphalt, which is the DMR, it's called VSSM. I don't know why they're not called Asphalt, but you know what? I'm not gonna argue about the names. So who cares? These fictional names are there for a reason. Is to protect themselves, not from copyright, but from lawsuits from parents. There's a bigger story here. I don't know which episode I was talking about, but yeah. So there's a reason why fictional names are there. It's to protect themselves as a company, because anyway, it's a bigger story here. Anyway, so let's talk about the weapons. So let's talk about the assault rifle, the AUG that came out so EF88. How do you feel about it? It's okay. It's just okay. I like how the gun feels, I guess, but it's not my type of gun. I've seen a lot of people raving about this gun, saying that, oh yeah, it's like basically no recoil or whatever, it's just very accurate, all that kind of stuff. I don't know, I played with the gun, I think I leveled up to level 20, and I'm like, not my type of gun. Something about it doesn't feel that powerful now, doesn't feel that good. Like, it's a nice looking gun, but it's like, I don't know, it's just like, something about it just doesn't click with me. And I think a lot of people, I seen that, you know, mostly with Battlefield veterans, I noticed they don't really like the gun, while the other people like the gun. So that's kind of interesting, you know, observation that I noticed. But yeah, I'm not like, I don't hate this assault rifle, but it's just not my type of assault rifle. Now going to the carbine area, I was really excited about this one. So it's called the Broad something, and it's basically if you played the brand from Modern Warfare games, that's basically that, or the what was it called? Captain America Winter Soldier? Yeah, Winter Soldier. From that movie, the Winter Soldier, Bucky, he uses that gun, and I really like this gun in Modern Warfare games, in Call of Duty games, and they finally added it to Battlefield 6, and my god, I love this gun. I love this gun. I love this carbine. This Broad, you know, called Broad. I like this gun. I really, really, really like this gun. Now, I noticed that the attachments low-key don't really make sense. Like, what gets to me, like, for example, I don't know if it's a bug. I don't know if it's somewhere unintentional fuck up happened somewhere. But when I put a heavy barrel, you know, a long extended heavy barrel on this carbine, you would imagine that, hey, it says increases velocity. Good. Okay, yeah, because I need velocity on this gun. Yeah, that's great. But the spread just becomes worse. Okay, makes no sense. I equip a short barrel, which is supposed to make the velocity less, but for some reason, it's so accurate. It's just so accurate and hits like a truck when you like use it properly. Like, I don't understand why the attachment that's supposed to increase the velocity and the distance, that how accurate the gun is. But if I equip the short barrel, suddenly it's more accurate, and regardless of velocity, it just kills instantly someone in distance. So I think they fuck up somewhere. I think maybe they fucked up the values. Maybe they just, you know, the short one's supposed to have the heavy barrel stats, and the short one's supposed to have the, you know, anyway. I think they just flipped up maybe they fucked up. Maybe they flipped the attachments, whatever. I noticed that attachments don't really make sense on this weapon. But anyway, when you figure out which attachments do what, and don't trust what the game says, like, oh, it's just have a barrel, it increases the thing. Whatever information they give you in the game about the attachments is absolutely wrong. It's just wrong. That in the game I say these are the stats, but it internally, like behind all this packaging, it does completely different stats. So keep that in mind when you figure out which attachment does what. Then yes, this gun is absolutely amazing. I really love this gun. That's why I've been playing so much with this gun. I love it. It's just like it's really fast, visually pleasing, the most aesthetically pleasing as like a carbine or assault rifle, whatever. It's basically assault rifle, but it's such a visually pleasing gun. My only disappointment about this Broad gun, this carbine, is that they haven't, the Battlefield Studios, they haven't added the side mag. So in real life, it has like the normal, you know, mag that you put like, you know, under the barrel, right? Like you put it from, you know, from the bottom. But there's a version of this gun where it has the side mag, and the side mag it's just very cool. I always liked it in Modern Warfare, and it looks cool in the Winter Soldier movie, Captain America movie, whatever. I'm kind of surprised they don't have the attachment on the, you know, to attach that side. Like it would be cool, but they don't have it, unfortunately. But regardless, it's kind of sad they don't have that. But the game is still the gun is still very visually pleasing gun, and I'm like, ooh, this is cool. This is like, it's just a cool. And the camos that come with this gun. So when you reach like level 5, level 15, and level 30 to unlock the camos look really good on this weapon. It's just they look really nice. They just look really, really nice, and I really like it. And yeah, this gun is amazing. I really like. Yeah, like I said, the attachments are lying. Whatever the game is telling you what the attachments do, it's absolute lie. It's absolute lie. And I promise you that it's absolute lie. The attachments make no sense. I think they flipped the values by some stupid chance. There must be it, because the attachments make no sense. Just keep attaching, stuff on the gun. Go on a test range and figure out what's wrong, or just do it in the game. It's just something's wrong. There's like I think they just flipped the values by accident and someone didn't notice. I think it's an honest mistake. Regardless, the gun is very good. I really love it. So much better than an assault rifle. It's just the gun feels really good and feels amazing. Now regarding the other one, the Asphalt, yeah, I will not say much. I'll just say that I really don't like the weapon. The velocity is absolute dog shit. I think it's 300 velocity, which is absolute one of the. I think a pistol has more velocity than this freaking weapon. So yeah, so the velocity is not good for a DMR. It's basically not really good in distance. And sure, you can unlock the automatic attachment for it, and kinda okay up close. But then it kind of defeats the purpose of a DMR. Anyway, it's a very confusing gun, very unique gun for sure, and I don't like it. And some people will perfect it, they will make sure that they can perform with this gun at its maximum potential. For me personally, it's not for me. Asphalt is like somewhat cool gun to use in video games, in first-person shooters, but in Battlefield 6, I don't think I'm gonna use this much, because it doesn't feel good, honestly. It doesn't feel good. And the way it takes a while to level up the weapons and everything, I'm not gonna waste time. I'm not gonna waste time. So that's that. Asphalt is kind of disappointing. I don't want to use it, so that's that. But yeah, that's the guns that came out with this season. And yeah, the carbine, love the carbine. The carbine is probably my favorite weapon right now in the game. Assault rifle, it's just fine, whatever. It's just another assault rifle. And Asphalt is I just don't like it. A lot of people I see that also don't really like it that much. So yeah. Quick mention of just the Battle Pass. Quickly, just want to mention this quickly. I realized I've been talking for that long. Goddamn. And I still have like half of the notes to go through. Anyway, so quick mention. So I know Battle Pass is not technically content. A lot of people don't log into the game for Battle Passes and all that kind of stuff. You know what's funny? I actually discovered, just recently, there's a subreddit called Battlefield Cosmetics, and it's basically just a subreddit to talk about and share about the Battlefield cosmetics, about the Battlefield aesthetics. Hey, here's a cool camo for the gun. Oh, here's a cool build I built for the gun, like tactically cool, all that kind of stuff. So just aesthetics, right? It's a subreddit literally called Battlefield Cosmetics, and it's just people discuss, character skins, so camos, blueprints, whatever, weapon packages. They're just showcasing art, basically. And that tells you how important customization like that is in video games these days, because people want to make it, something that is cool. They want to look at something cool and all that kind of stuff, and stuff like that is really important. So just the fact that a subreddit like that exists 10 years ago, like someone told me like there will be a subreddit called Battlefield Cosmetics, like what? What? And it exists, so that's that. Actually, I was looking for to find how the ranked camos look, not camos, how the ranked characters look, and that was the subreddit I found how the ranked skins looked. But anyway, that's not the point. So I just wanted to mention this quickly, just the Battle Pass. The skins we have in this Battle Pass are really fantastic. I don't like they finally cooking with the skins, and the skins are very very cool in the Battle Pass. It just that's all it is. That's the topic. That's all I want to mention. Like all the characters are very tactical. They just look very cool, very, like they're just aesthetically pleasing skins, and I love it. And it's not only character skins, even the the blueprints. Well, weapon packages. They call weapon packages. We call them blueprints because it's the same system as Call of Duty these days. Yeah, even the gun skins are very very cool. They're like aesthetically pleasing. Actually, some effort put into them. Of course, not everything is perfect. Even the player cards are like somewhat like cool and everything. Like I think this is one of the best battle passes, if not the best battle pass they had so far, because everything is very visually pleasing, and I'm glad, and it doesn't break the immersion for Battlefield 6. So they basically, yeah, that's I like that they're treading this needle. That is like it's quite ridiculous in some cases, but it makes sense and it's realistic enough for this particular universe they have for Battlefield 6, right? You can have the most ridiculous thing ever, but as long as it makes sense for this universe, for this aesthetic of Battlefield 6, I have no problem with that. And there's some scuba diving stuff and everything. It's like, that's cool. But I think it's one of the best battle passes they had in the game so far. And that's great. That's all I want to mention. The skins in the game right now are very, very cool. They're very interesting to look at, and it's really interesting to, just to rock them in the game, right? It's very cool. I like that. So yeah, more of that, please. Battlefield Studios, please, more of that, because that's all I want to say. This Battle Pass is very good. All the stuff that is there is very good. Of course, not everything is perfect, but majority of it is very good, and more of that, please. That's all I have to say. All right, that's all I have to say. Cool Battle Pass. That's all. Yeah. Okay, let's give it 5 more minutes, I guess, because I have another thing I want to talk about. I was talking about. It's about Season 6 and beyond. You know what? I'm gonna leave this for the next episode, because this is gonna be another meaty topic, another like half an hour, maybe 20 minutes, because there's loads of things to discuss, because there's some leaks came out about Season 6 and beyond, and those leaks, whether true or not, sound very interesting, and I think it will blow some people away if those leaks are correct and true. So I think I'm gonna leave this conversation. Yeah, I'll leave this topic for the next episode, because there's loads of things to discuss, and I kind of want to give its fair share. I want to give it like a good attention to it. So that's that. Yeah, I'll leave it for the next episode. But to close this episode off with the last 5 minutes, let's talk about RedSec, because that's the other part that got changed with this game. So RedSec, well, changed. So RedSec. So we already know that Battlefield RedSec ranked mode is one of the most popular modes they have right now in the game. So RedSec ranked is one of the most popular modes they have in under the Battlefield 6 umbrella. It's one of the most played modes out there. So that is amazing. That's quite unique. And people that say that RedSec is dead or whatever the case may be, clearly not, because the hours are there. Sure, there's some manipulation can be happening. Like, yeah, sure, you have these many hours, but by how many players? But regardless, the player base is staying and playing this non-stop. Whether the player base is bigger than, I don't know, Conquest or normal Battle Royale, that doesn't matter. People play it, and it's one of the most played modes they have under the Battlefield 6 umbrella. So let's keep that in mind. But yeah. Long story short, so what happened with RedSec? Well, technically nothing. So the only thing they changed with RedSec, they just nerfed the noob tube, the grenade launcher for their assault class, and that's kind of it. Sure, like I said, mentioned before, they add, now you can see your player card in the pre-round. Everyone can see each other's player cards. You can see their customization, all that kind of stuff. Good. That's an amazing change. That was supposed to be a thing since season 1, since the RedSec came out. But you know what? Better late than never. It's there finally. That's cool. I appreciate that, and it's great. So that's a good quality of life stuff. Great. But overall, nothing else changed in RedSec. Nothing changed. Yeah, they updated the weapon pool, sure, but overall, nothing changed in RedSec as far as I know. I played maybe 2-3 rounds of solos, and I played couple of good. Wow, we almost played 10 rounds of ranked, and so ranked is the only thing that got updated in RedSec, basically, because it's a new season, everything got reset and all that kind of stuff. So that's that. So nothing changed in RedSec, which is quite disappointing, other than that one quality life stuff. Regarding ranked, I'll say this: so they removed the vehicles from ranked because they say they will rebalance the vehicles for ranked. Now, thing is, I don't know what they mean by that, because if you listen to my previous episode where I talked about them removing vehicles from ranked, I was basically complaining, saying, "Hey, you're dealing with a player-based problem, not a game problem. The vehicles were already underpowered as hell. They're visible on the map all the time. The glass cannons and the one shot with RPG is basically disabled. So I never lost the end game against a tank. I won games with a tank, but that's because the other squads were not prepared to deal with the tank, and that's on them. But 99% of the player base just don't know how to deal with tanks, and they don't want to deal with tanks, and loads of players are just little pussies. I'm sorry, but that's the reality. Loads of players are little pussies. That being said, so they removed the vehicles to rebalance. So they removed them until for now, and they say they will rebalance them to bring them into ranked sooner or later when the rebalance will happen. Okay, so until now, they have no vehicles in RedSec ranked. Let me tell you right now, after playing for 10 rounds, something like that, it feels very boring. Feels low-key boring. And they also did the scoring changes, all that kind of stuff. Like, you know, they increased the starting fee, you get more points for assists, all that kind of stuff. So they redid some numbers there and there. And it's low-key easier now to get points to progress to the ranks. And I noticed that the way I noticed the game changed right now. So before this update, RedSec rank was it was chaotic but in a good way, even though it was squads to begin with. Like, just because squads is already fucked up. But hey, it was not easy to it was not that easy to reach top 15. You know, all that kind of, like sometimes you had to like really fight for that position, right? Here right now, after playing those 10 rounds, we go to our regular spot to do the contracts, you know, get our custom, all that kind of stuff, right? We can't get the vehicle anymore, so we have to go just for the custom. The matches feel quicker, and it feels very easy. Like, it feels easier. I don't know if it's because the player base just grew a little bit, and there's more variety of players and everything, but I don't know, it feels very easy to get points, and I don't know, it's just kind of weird, and it feels, but without the vehicles, it feels really boring. The engineer class is just is basically useless. If I see a guy rocking the engineer class, I'm like, bruh, just stop. Now, of course, there's this stupid truck that you can use, but you know what? The game gives you so many tools to deal with that truck. You know, there's thermite, there's RPGs and everything you can do from missions, and you know what? That's the thing. It's just like, it's not hard to deal with those vehicles because it's just whatever. But yeah, just without the tanks, you know, without the LEVs and all the tanks, it feels very boring. Now, of course, it doesn't feel good. It just feels like it's missing something. It's missing that soul. Like I remember I was talking about solos, when they remove vehicles from solos, right? It's basically a camp fest, and this is kind of, like I said, it's kind of the same thing happening now right now in RedSec Ranked, since they removed the vehicles. As I said, it's going to be a very campy, and everyone's going to be very, not pushy and everything, just going to camp. And yeah, that's what's happening right now in RedSec Ranked. People are very campy. Because there's no vehicles to deal with. Now means they can just hug one corner together, as a squad, as a quad, and just push together and all that kind of stuff, and just don't push. That's the thing. I see squads are very, very passive. They're not pushing, and all the squads are hugging the circle. That's all it is. So if you want to play well in RedSec Ranked and want to get some kills, I personally recommend you to go in the middle of the circle, literally in the middle of the circle, no matter what the circle is, and fight there. I think you'll have more success than going on the edge of the circle and follow until the end game, because all the squads are there. It's very ratty. It's very passive. All the squads are not pushed because there's no vehicles to deal with. There's nothing to be afraid of. It's fine. Everything's infantry combat, right? And it's quads too, so you can't really push by yourself and kill one guy or two guys and then try to achieve something. No, you're gonna get just beamed instantly because everyone are close to each other and everyone together and all that kind of stuff. So RedSec Rank right now is very passive. But that's why I said. That's why I said 2 episodes ago when I was complaining about this. That's why I said it's gonna be very ratty. It's gonna be very campy. It's gonna be very passive, and that's exactly what happened. Removed that element from the game, the vehicles. Suddenly, everyone just very oh yeah, that means I can camp. I can finish for high place with all that kind of stuff, and that's what's happening. So in a sense, it's easier to reach points and get points and all that kind of stuff. Player base are still stupid from what I've seen. They're still stupid because it's still open matchmaking, Oh, speaking of, so we have a friend who he wants to play, we're trying to tell him to hey, play rank with us, right? So he was unranked originally. He could not play with us. And this is stupid, right? But if I matchmake by myself, I will get that fucking unranked player, some random unranked player that will be in my squad, but I can't play with my friend who's unranked, even though I'm silver right now because the new season reset it. So that's stupid. But I said this idea to him. Okay, wait, I have an idea. Let's not be in a squad, because we can't matchmake together. Let's matchmake at the same time and see if it puts us in the same server. So we just did 1, 2, 3. We both in the menus. We matchmaked ourselves into the match at the same time. And it not only put us in the same server, it also put us in the same squad. What? So, okay. So he played that one unranked match with us, with me, with our way. So we figured out how to play together. He finally is a rookie player, and he can play with us because I'm silver, the monkey is silver, and he's rookie, so he can play with us now. But if you want to play with your friends who are unranked and you're too high level or something like that, right? Both of you don't be in a squad, just be in the menu and matchmake at the same time. And it will put you in the same squad if it's on if you guys matchmake correctly. And if it doesn't put you in the same squad by stupid chance, just quit. It's fine. Until the match starts, until you have this, cinematic starting, you can quit and not lose any points. Here's a trick for you. So if you want to abuse the system as much as you can, and you won't play with your friends, that the game won't allow you to play with your friends, just be in the menu, matchmake together at the same time, until you're gonna be in the same squad, and you can quit until the cinematic starts, and you won't lose any points. How does that make sense? Fuck knows. But that's how it works. So that's that. So we managed to play together by matchmaking together at the same time. Right, so the ranking system, you know what, not much to talk about. It's much easier to progress with the lower ranks, that's true. but I noticed that kind of doesn't make sense. For example, I saw a post by someone which I fully agree with because I noticed that myself. A guy that gets, let's say, 16 kills he will get less points than the player that got 8 kills and 8 assists. So the player that got 8 kills and 8 assists is basically getting more points, well, at least in terms of value, than the player that got 16 kills. Doesn't make any fucking sense, does it? Now, of course, like I said, it doesn't matter what system they use. If they use, assists get this point, or kills give you this points, whatever. No matter what system people will suggest, or no matter what developers will suggest, it doesn't matter. Because it's fucking quads. Because ranked Battle Royale right now is squads. Why the fuck it's squads? So it doesn't matter what system they use, it's gonna be dog shit. And it's not gonna be fair. You can go very individual or you can go very team orientated. It doesn't matter. It's gonna be bullshit no matter what. It's not gonna be accurate because it's all fucking squads. Can we stop with the squad bullshit? I'm not gonna bitch about this again because hey, listen to the I can't remember which episode was. I think 2 episodes ago. No new Battlefield till 2028. Half of the episode I was literally complaining about this. Doesn't matter what system they use, ranked for this ranked mode, more individual one or more team oriented. It doesn't fucking matter until they make it into trios. This won't work. This won't work. It's not gonna be bullshit. You know, until it's not quads. Nothing is gonna make any sense. You need to make it trios only. Maybe duos if you're feeling really very adventurous, very spicy. Duos actually would work really well. Actually, speaking of, in RedSec, duos will be really cool in ranked. But anyway, fucking quads. Speaking of, we have normal quads playlist, just a normal BR. We have casual playlist, which is also quads, and we have ranked mode, which is also quads. So we have 3 quad modes, but we're rotating between solos and duos on a weekly basis. What are we doing? What are we doing? I don't understand what are we doing. So until ranked mode is not quads, nothing will make sense. So that's that. So there's no point talking about ranking system because it doesn't matter if it's a more individual one or more team oriented. It doesn't matter because it doesn't fucking make it sense because it's squads. It's not gonna, like, you can carry your shitty teammates with squads because if it's team oriented. If it's more individual, it doesn't make fucking sense to play with your team because you worry about yourself and not your team. Because it's squads. But yeah, since they removed vehicles from ranked, it feels very. It's missing something. It's missing like some sort of soul. It means it's missing something that's just like, yeah, this doesn't feel right. Well, of course, me and Monkey will play just because we want to unlock the soldier skins for finishing end the season, like Platinum and Diamond, whatever. We want to get those skins. But yeah, it just doesn't feel right. And also, I noticed the missions, the way they work, they give you more shitty missions on top. So that means there's no point doing missions early. Like, yeah, you do one mission and maybe then go fight. Because get your AT for the truck and that's kind of it. And maybe like artillery strike or something like that. Other than that, like the way the missions rotate just doesn't make any sense anymore because it's just like, oh yeah, green mission, and then like, oh yeah, custom now. Like, but it's like after like 5th, 6th time, right? And there's already like what 15 squads left or something. Like doesn't make any sense. You see what I mean? So they removed vehicles, and there's the vehicle missions, and they have not added more missions, and now we're just getting more shitty missions that no one fucking wants to do. I don't want to do a drone mission that takes ages to do. For what? For our airstrike? No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. So that's that. That's really annoying. So it doesn't feel complete. It just feels very shallow, and I don't think I like it. The end of just on the positive, just to end this on the positive, the emblems are kind of cool, but I fully disagree that they picked the color for the rookies, because it's like rookies and diamond, rookies and plat, or diamond. I don't know. Like, so okay. So plat is supposed to be like somewhat greenish, I guess. Diamond, no, diamond. No, plat's supposed to be like bluish. Bluish. Yeah, platinum is supposed to be bluish. Diamond's supposed to be white, and rookie right now is supposed to be like some sort of bluish to color. I don't understand why they picked that color. So I thought they were platinum players when I saw like we got some players in our match. I thought they were platinum players. No, they're rookies because it's platinum and rookie are almost identical color. Even though they're not, I can tell they're not. But originally, without knowing, I was like, presumed, oh, it's platinum players. No, it's rookies. So the colors don't really. They still need to work on the emblems. They look much better right now. Don't get me wrong. They look much better. They look more cooler and all that kind of stuff. That's great. But when it comes to colors, oh boy, they still need to work on that. It just doesn't make any fucking sense regarding color-wise. Just like, so that's that. That they need to improve that. But the emblems look cool. Okay, other than that, I don't know what to tell about ranked. It's just like, yeah, there's no changes in RedSec mod. There's nothing in RedSec that was meaningful change. Apparently, the most meaningful change coming is next update, which is the second stage of the season when we know carrier soldier and stuff. Apparently, there's gonna be a new POI, so there's gonna be a carrier on the map. So that's that, and there's probably gonna be more changes with that too. But until now, RedSec did not receive any changes whatsoever, so that's unfortunate. And just new season of ranked, and it feels really shallow without vehicles. That's what it is. And it doesn't matter what system they have right now for their ranking. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It doesn't matter because it's squads. Until it's trios or duos, it doesn't matter what system they have because it's not gonna be perfect. It's just gonna be dog shit no matter what because it's fucking quads. That's the reality. So anyway, that's where I'm gonna end the show. So I'm actually surprised I've been talking for an hour and 10 minutes. Kind of surprised. Anyway, so thank you guys for listening. I know it's not the best episode right now. I'm sorry. It's just mostly because I'm just jibber-jabbing about this season 4 stuff, and I'm planning roundtable episodes for the future. So in a week or two. So yeah. So thank you guys for listening. Lots of time. Just join our Discord. Seriously, if you listen to this on a regular basis, if you listen to Battlefield podcast, join our Discord. Join our Patreon. Patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. Our Discord is in the description, in the link. Like, just join us, talk to us, interact with us. Be involved with us. Be part of the community. Let us know what you think and all that kind of stuff. Maybe suggest some topics or whatever the case may be, right? Maybe you want to give us your thoughts about it, and I can put them on the show. So let me know. Also, I forgot to mention this, even though it's not really important. The last episode is due numbers, absolute numbers, like 20-30% increase in retention and all, and the numbers are just growing and everything is just not even retention, just doing numbers. Like, I guess it's the naval warfare released, all that kind of stuff, doing all the heavy lifting. But it doesn't matter. People listening, and we got a big jump in followers, all that kind of stuff. So that's great. But yeah, so thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for everything. Just join Discord, join our Patreon, patreon.com/TheLankySoldier. Get your content, get your, extra episodes, early access, live streams, everything. I think we produce some cool work, and $2, $5 is literally, we undercharge for what we're doing on Patreon. If you ask me, we really undercharge. But it's for reasons, because we want people to join Patreon. I don't care about your financial, I don't want you to worry about your financial situation. I don't want another subscription. I like Lanky and his podcast, but I don't want to commit money for something I'm not sure. Listen, I think it will be worth it, and that's why we're keeping the price as low as possible. It's for a reason, so everyone can join and be involved. And it does help me as a guy, to make this show on a regular basis, because hey, it helps, if we get enough financial support, that means I can skip some days in our work so I can make more episodes, or whatever the case may be, right? So there's value, there's value, and all of it really helps us in the long term. And Battlefield 6 has a bright future, it seems like, so that's great, no matter what I think about this update. So yeah, thank you guys for everything, thank you guys for listening, thank you for interacting with us. The Q&A, don't forget Q&A. If you have any questions, you have any feedback, or whatever the case may be, and you want your question to be answered on the show, please go to that document in the description. ask us a question, you know, first link, just click on that link, start typing your question, ask us anything, and we'll answer that on the show. And I'll try to bring Ray and or anyone else to answer those questions with me. So that's that. So yeah, last chance, guys. Ask those questions. So yeah, I'm gonna end it here. So thank you guys for everything. We'll see you in the next one. See you on the battlefield. Don't be a douchebag, and have a good one.